Welcome back to Levelheaded Gamer. My name is Joseph, and today we're going to talk about Curse of the Dead Gods, and this time around we're talking about the Eagle Temple, how to defeat all the 3 bosses. Now let me give you the strategies so you can take down these bosses and get through your runs much quicker. Let's get right into it. As is typical with all the bosses in Curse of the Dead Gods, the first boss is usually not too tough. You're gonna see him spawn these big orbs that cast lightning storms. Well, typically you just want to be far away from them from the beginning. There's one attack you'd really have to watch out for that's difficult to dodge if you're not doing it in time, is if you see him put his hands up right in the air and then cast a straight lightning bolt that shoots out in front of you. You gotta make sure you start circling around him, not just going to the side. You want to jump around him and keep going around him so that it's not going to be able to catch up with you. However, the second attack the boss does is these lightning bolts that are going to scrape across the ground, which are very easy to dodge if you dodge towards them, away, no matter which direction. Either way, as soon as you dodge either of the attacks, your job is to jump in and do some combos on the boss. If you have a slower weapon, let's say like a whip or a heavy weapon, you're going to be able to do one full combo. However, if you have a fast weapon like a dagger or the claws, you'll be able to pull off probably 2 combos before the boss starts teleporting. Now don't get greedy because he can cast a lightning bolt while you're hitting him, so that's something to pay attention to. It's something that's very noticeable with every single boss in this game, is to take your time and not rush, because you're trying to save all your health for the continuous run that you're going to have throughout the dungeons. Now the second boss, this guy is significantly harder because some of the attacks can come very quickly at you. There's going to be 3 major attacks that he's going to do, and it's going to be the first one where he slams his fists into the ground and he's going to be spawning these fists out of the ground trying to hit you. You just have to make sure you have enough stamina to dodge them. Or it's going to be a big AoE kind of attack where it's going to be 2 fists clashing trying to hit you. That one is a little bit easier to dodge. Essentially, you always want to have stamina with this guy. His main go-to move is going to be jumping towards you, and that's not very hard to dodge, and that is your opening attack. As soon as he does that attack charging towards you, just make sure you're close to him enough and start wailing him with 1 combo. I usually don't go more than for 1 combo unless I have a fast weapon. You probably can squeeze in a little bit more, but it is important to keep your stamina up. He might charge at you, but for the most part, that's all. The only attacks, those 3 attacks, is what he's going to do for the most part. He might amp it up a little bit when you're starting to get his health really low. Not an extremely hard boss if you keep your stamina up. I probably would tell you, my guys, for the most part, either to use a fast weapon or a distance weapon or something like a whip, so you don't have to get too close to him and that you're not wasting your stamina willy-nilly. The last boss in the Eagle Temple, I would say, is probably the hardest of the 3 temple bosses because of how fast he is and how many different attacks you have to be ready to dodge. Now, what's going to start first with is his very fast charge attacks towards you, or the healing attack he's going to prepare himself for. You'll see him put up a shield. If you see that shield up, make sure you get at least 1 hit on the boss and then jump away, because usually as soon as you hit him, he's gonna charge right at you or shoot some kind of projectile, and you have to be ready for either one of those guys because it's going to be extremely fast. Your openings are usually after he does his 3-piece combo. It's going to open you up for one of the attacks so you can do a combo on him. The hard part here is, again, to manage your stamina, because he's going to be putting up a shield typically when you're far away from him and you're going to want to dodge towards him. And as the fight keeps going, you'll see him spawn these vortexes which are going to send out shockwaves, and you could dodge through them if you need to, but the hard part to manage here is to make sure you're not near them when the attack spawns. It gives you a little bit more time to kind of get yourself together to dodge, and at the same time you want to be in the opening where the boss himself is not in one of those vortexes, because you want to be doing damage and you don't want him to be healing at the same time. Here, the hardest part really with this boss is management of all the things that are going to happen, and it's literally about practice of having to see all of these attacks enough so that you're familiar with all of his attacks. It is a little bit hard to parry him, so I don't recommend really parrying, because you never know which of the fast attacks you're going to do, whether it's a circular attack, if it's a projectile attack, whether it's a charge attack. His attacks in general are pretty quick. I do recommend having some kind of a weapon like a whip or a heavy weapon. That's what usually worked for me, or something like a dagger. You can hit him with a heavy weapon and then quickly do a light combo attack with a dagger or a claw, for example. But here again, patience, good placement on the field is going to get you a victory. So there you go, guys. Those are my strategies for the bosses for the Eagle Temple, and it's definitely the temple I struggle with the most, and I think it's a common occurrence among most of the players with the Curse of the Dead Gods. But I hope you guys are enjoying the game and enjoying these tutorials on how to beat the bosses, and if you are, make sure you subscribe down below, and make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.